AskReddit by Uranium Rave. What's a telltale sign two people are having a secret sexual relationship with each other? I was at a BBQ with dozens of people. A young ridiculously beautiful married couple was there. The wife was pregnant. They brought their short, squat, funny man roommate with them. At some point funny man and pregnant wife are on opposite sides of the kitchen and I caught a glance between them no more than a blink of an eye. It was the only interaction they had all night. In that instant I have never been more sure two people were fucking. Told my girlfriend, those two are smashing. She told me to stop being a creep. Sure enough 6 months later everyone finds out they're fucking and funny man is a dad. My guy. WTF happened after that? Our CEO coming into a meeting to grab something from the QA lady's purse was one a few of us saw once. They get awkward if you come up to them when they are together. I just want coffee and you were standing in front of the machine and I didn't think anything was going on until you got all awkward. You're allowed to be friends and stand here and talk. They could just be friends talking shit about you or someone else and don't want you to hear. Their orbits are smaller around each other. Without meaning to, they will change their personal space requirements with the other. They'll think they're normal distance away, but won't be. Also, they'll move around each other too easily, like in small spaces, without the awkward missteps the rest of us make. Yeah, if I needed to get past my coworker, who I was sleeping with, I'd just touch him or push him a little bit even if there was enough space. Definitely didn't do that with anyone else. If it's at work, they are both happy. I was dating a coworker and while we thought we were super subtle, every single person knew what was up. The constant casual conversation, bringing coffee in the morning just for her, taking lunch breaks at the same time, it was all way too obvious. I regret nothing though, it was a fun time and it really did make going to work better. After reading so many comments I learned my best friend and I might be fucking in secret and we just don't know it yet. Right? I'm looking at a lot of these responses about glancing at each other and laughing, dawdling near each other's desks, casually getting up and walking out of the room a couple of minutes apart, to secretly meet in the break room and gossip while eating snacks, and thinking, I do this with my friends all the time. I work in HR and someone dropped an anonymous tip once that a member of senior management was sleeping with a female subordinate. So it gave me access to their emails, and I swear to God, the moment I read I can still smell you on my fingers, I immediately wanted to quit HR. On the work email? Good God. A bunch of us used to hang out on a TeamSpeak server to play games. One day we were chatting when the server admin just blurted out, so, guy and girl, you two have the same IP address today. You fucking? That would have been embarrassing and funny at the same time. Physical closeness. Princess Margaret was, accurately, accused of having an affair after wiping some fluff dust off of married man's suit jacket. As someone who once had a wonderful female work friend who would always try to get the cat hair off my shirt when I came in, I suspect I was missing cues there. Edit. At this point with this many positive and negative responses, I should probably clarify that I just asked my fiancée and confirmed, yes, she was indeed trying to send me a signal when she was pulling the cat hair off me, but I didn't actually get the message until like a year later. If you know them before it they'll stop flirting as much as they had been prior to it. They make sure they don't leave a place together but linger around long enough to know when the other is leaving. They look at each other when something funny or bad happens. The glances. Kind of like what Joey and Friends reasoned. If there is chemistry on stage, chances are no chemistry in real life. If they are awkward on stage, chances are they are having sex in real life. If they are acting awkward in front of others and clearly trying hard to act like they don't care about each other, sexual relationship. If they carry out as normal and work well together, no secret sexual relationship. They start using each other's speech mannerisms. Like one of them always replies to something you say to them with, "Is that right?" And then you hear your wife saying it all the time after you get back from a week-long work trip. Edit for everyone saying they do this all the time. Yes, it is common and I also do it. It's just the way I keyed into the affair. Both can be true. Peace. I'm sorry Alaska Roy. It sounds like your wife maybe had another Alaskan toy. The little conversational clues. Like when two people glance knowingly at each other frequently, or have friendly little side whispers because they have their own thing going on apart from the group. And they hover near each other to be physically close. All those little examples of intimacy that is only between them. A married ex-friend of mine once started showing up with a woman and acting like that. I could tell they were banging, and I couldn't believe he wasn't trying harder to conceal it. Turns out, the poor woman had no idea he was married, and was unaware that everyone else did know. It was later traumatizing to her to realize she had been seen as a mistress, when she was the only person who didn't know what was really happening. She's now a friend of mine. He is not. Poor woman. Seems like she dodged a bullet. Sometimes you can tell by the way they casually, appropriately, touch each other in public. Certain things are awkward until you cross that line. At a place I worked at about 25 years ago, female coworker dropped her screwdriver and our boss picked it up and stuck it in her pocket. Later that day my buddy says she did not flinch or look away from what she was doing when his hand went to her pocket. His hand has been in that pocket before. Carpooling when there is not much convenience to it because they don't live all that close to each other. Interestingly, now husband offered to carpool with me because we do live close to each other, but I was fine using the company shuttle. I kind of thought that it was an inappropriate offer because I had a boyfriend that time, so I did not agree with the arrangement. When my then boyfriend broke up with me for another girl, we reopened this conversation about carpooling and things ended up in marriage, so I guess carpooling is a big deal. Also happened with my sister. She also married her own carpool guy. If one person slips and mostly reacts to something funny or distinct to that individual, when the rest of the group isn't, and they might try to cover or restrain that emotion. This is painfully, embarrassingly accurate. Had co-workers at a local mom and pop a few years back that would hold hands at work but let go as soon as someone else walked in the room. It was the unspoken secret of the store and the owner told us in no uncertain terms that we were never to discuss it. They were very much married to other people and from what I could see, their respective spouses had no idea about it. Even at company parties, they didn't even make eye contact. At work though, it was almost like it was their first crush. They were both extremely nice people, just apparently not to their spouses. I walked in on them sleeping together at the store one night after close and a couple of days later I was summarily fired. Edit. A few people have said that they would have told their spouses, but it was the owner who fired me, not them. Plus, I really didn't have a way of contacting their spouses anyway. Lol, did they allow your boss to watch or something? Why the hell was he so intent on allowing them to cheat? The two of them consistently being the last ones left of the group hangout, especially if one of them is hosting. 100% this one. I know they bout to bone when my friend says for everyone to leave and that new girl doesn't move an inch. Awkward avoidance of each other. Or disappearing at the same time. Taking off-site lunch at the same time. They find excuses to touch each other in passing. Their eyes give them away. From personal experience, was hooking up with a coworker and she'd bring her dog into the office. Her dog started sitting under my desk every day and we were exposed. That's hilarious. These two I used to work with, they got found out because a skunk sprayed outside the guy's house real bad. The next day they came into work separately and ignored each other as usual, but they both smelled like skunk. Then everyone knew, but they didn't know we knew. I hope the skunk wasn't a part of their sexual playground. Pay attention to who they look at when they laugh. It may not reveal a sexual relationship necessarily, but it's such an innocent act that at the very least reveals that they want to ensure they are connected at that moment. This is good. Going to start being more aware of this. They act weird all of a sudden when things that should be considered normal happen. Like friends acting playful, but they suddenly stop because they realize it might be taken the wrong way, when in reality it wouldn't. They are only fearing such as they know things are indeed the wrong way. A friend at work started secretly dating a coworker, and it was completely obvious because of the shift from the routine way they had always acted to one of almost strained professionalism when they interacted around others. Plus you'd catch things like the sidelong glances or weird excuses about why neither one could join everyone after work when they probably had plans together. When he finally told me, I replied, "Yeah, no shit," and laid out all the telltale clues they had been showing. He was genuinely surprised as he thought that they had been successfully keeping it on the down low. They almost try too hard to hide it. Like if they go to an arcade with their coworkers, they'll play different games but right beside each other instead of just playing together. Or they'll flirt with total strangers at the bar area. Or freak out if people think they're flirting. Just stuff like that. They hate drama. Meaningful glances and mischievous smiles towards one another. I always thought it was a pretty profound observation in Love Actually that Emma Thompson's character spotted that her lizard of a husband and that floozy made an effort not to react to each other. She served him a drink at a party, and he didn't say thank you. Subtle. House MD has a line like this too. Nurse whatever brought you a coffee and you didn't thank her. That only happens when you're real intimate with someone. Nice try, wife. I'll be home regular time and I won't forget the milk this time. Does anyone else's wife have a Native American healer that comes by 3 or 4 times a week to help with her migraines? If you're going through something to make you ask this, trust your gut. I had the gut feeling my ex-wife was cheating. All the signs were there, but I just thought she'd never do that and all the evidence was coincidental. My brain didn't want to see it, so I put blinders on. Fast forward a couple of months, I found out she was, and my family all said I must be an idiot for not seeing what was right in front of me. Ask others' opinions that you both know. They'll tell you an unbiased opinion. Someone you can trust. Similar situation. Your first initial gut reaction is usually correct. The hard part is accepting that somebody you love would betray you.